Hello, hello, and welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining from. Thank you all for being here, as always. So, got a fun little few things in store for today, and I am still, of course, always last minute shifting things around in here. So, yes, I think Randy pointed that out. Yeah, I must be doing some last minute adjustments to the studio and doesn't have the map running yet. Of course I was. Of course, I always am. Last minute adjustments are how we do things here. Gosh, my headphones, I can hear myself in the headphones a little bit too much. So I hope you're not getting that feedback. Otherwise, is this just too loud? It's possible that it's too loud because I, of course, move things around and the microphone is back where it should be instead of yesterday or instead of last week when it was up at the desk pointing up at me. So let me... That's what it is. I turned up the volume last week. We're going to go ahead and fix that. First things first, jumping into the audio. I think it should be more like 40. Is that better? That looks too low. 44. Okay, we're going to go with that. Yeah, that looks better. Okay. Of course. So yeah, the last week I had the microphone sticking out from underneath that monitor, pointing up, and it was actually farther away than it normally is from me. So now it's back. You can't see it in the shot intentionally, but it's right there, literally right there at the top of the screen. Maybe you can see like 1 pixel of it. I tried to get it out of the screen. So it's right there where it should be. And that's the distance that it normally is from my face. And I think that is a little bit better. Cool. Yeah, I do have the music actually turned down intentionally. I didn't want the music blasting, but maybe I should just blast the music. I don't know. Because it is kind of jarring if you turn up the volume and then all of a sudden my voice comes booming out of nowhere. Anyway, cool. Yeah, audio is not clipping. It was just a little bit louder than I wanted it to be. So plan for today. I'm going to give you a little tour of what's going on in the studio here, and I want to chat about some of the other things that happened this week. This was busy live streaming week. Somehow I ended up with 2 different midweek live streams, and that was it was a lot of fun. So I've got the bike rig here to show you as well, so we can go over that again, since that was what I used on the stream on Wednesday. That's what it was. Studio light on the back wall is in a bad location unless you move. Oh yeah, I need to move to my right to like, it's not centered. Everything's in flux. It's fine. This is going to be a weird one because everything is literally in progress. So here's my other in progress shot. I got the 27-inch monitor back on my desk here. So these are 2 matching monitors now, both are 27. And then though that meant my 24 goes back on that rig, I also swapped out the desk pole for a white one so that it doesn't look as jarring. I didn't like the tall black pole there on the nice bright desk. So that is, those 2 are in place. I'm going to get 2 more 24-inch monitors. I haven't decided if I'm going to get the same exact model or something similar. And that's going to be a 4-up grid over there of monitors, probably showing the multi-view of the new ATEM that hasn't come in yet. So that's why everything's just in a little bit wrong position. But I do have a wireless rig here to walk around and show you what's going on in the studio. And I can also show you the bike that way. What are these monitors? Those are 2 Dell monitors, Dell 24-inch. I think I linked to them in my studio tour video. And I got them because they are 1920 by 1080 exactly. And I wanted the monitors to be the exact same size as all my video sources, and also so that when I'm using a computer screen on them, the computer screen is in the right ratio already, and I don't have to worry about cropping or anything like that. So, yeah. Isn't everything in a constant flux? It is true. Things don't stay still very long in here. Although I do feel like the last layout I had was pretty much the same for quite a long time. I was looking back at some old live streams and old videos, and not a lot has changed in the last almost year, I want to say. So, yeah. Yeah, maybe I'll install the flux compensator for the next stream. We'll see. So, okay. Let's start by talking about the bike live stream, since I've got that in the back here. And I see Andy is queuing this up for me. Do I think the YoloBox is a reliable piece of gear? So, okay. What happened with the bike live stream? Things went mostly well, first of all. Like, let's just say that. Mostly things were fine. Let me get my speakers muted because we don't need to hear it. I took the YoloBox on my bike, and I'll show you that rig in a second. I took that out on a big bike ride in Portland, and it was the first bike ride of the summer season of bike rides. So this is the video that I was streaming from the ride. And this was pre-ride. We were supposed to leave at 6 o'clock, left around 6 o'clock. And then the idea was I was just going to have 2 cameras front and back and a handheld one so I could talk to the camera as well. Stream with the YoloBox the whole ride. And cross your fingers that the cell phone signal held up, and it did mostly. There were a couple of spots where I was not surprised. It was the same dropout areas of last year, and it's where I always just have bad signal when I'm going around town. But things mostly held up. The big problem was the sound, because what I did was, remember how in the video I did about the DJI Mic, one of the things I said was that this case is really great and everything, but there's no room for cables inside. So you have it is nice that it has the little slots for the Lightning and the USB-C adapter for the receiver, but there's no room for the 1/8" audio cable in here, which means you always have to carry that somewhere else. And sure enough, first thing I did after making that video, I took this with me for the ride, and I forgot the 1/8" cable, which meant so that was when I left the studio, and I got home and I was packing to leave on the ride, and I was like, I realized, thankfully, before I left the house that I didn't have the right cable. So I was like, oh, I have a drawer full of audio cables. I'll just grab one. Like, they're all, as long as it's a short 1/8" cable, it'll work, right? Turns out, not exactly, because the cable that I brought has a wide, the grippy thing is wider than the one that comes with that. And it didn't fit into the YoloBox properly. The YoloBox has a little recessed notch where that audio goes in, the audio jack goes in, and it didn't go all the way in, so I couldn't get the DJI Mic audio into the YoloBox. And that is how I had tested the whole thing. Like, I had pre-adjusted the levels, I had listened on headphones, I made sure that like the DJI Mic was at the right spot, and then I knew how to set the YoloBox levels right. All of that I had tested with the DJI Mic going into the YoloBox, which was how I was planning on doing it. And then all of a sudden, I'm out in the field there, and I'm setting this whole thing up, and it's like, I can't plug it in. Like, it just doesn't plug in. So luckily, I had a audio input on the front GoPro, because it was the GoPro 10, which also I have some feelings about. Probably going to film that video today about the GoPro 10. But it does have a audio in. So I plugged that cable in, and then I was like, I have no idea what levels are going to be. And I did have headphones. You can see the little Apple headphones are plugged into the YoloBox here. But I was outside. They're tiny headphones. Can't hear very well. Did not get the audio adjusted right. It was a little bit off. So, yeah, I did what I could. It was okay. And then on top of that, so once I actually got the DJI Mic routed into the GoPro, it was actually, like, it was fine, but there was a bug that I encountered on the YoloBox, which was that the audio indicator telling me which audio sources were enabled were lying to me. And that was a little bit disconcerting. And the problem was, if I had had better headphones, or actually like tested this properly, I would have noticed, because, you know, I put on the headphones and like, oh, I can hear myself talk. Good. I can't really hear the quality of the sound through the Apple headphones, so I think that my plan of using those as the monitoring headphones is not a good plan. But the problem was that it said only one mic was on, but actually the back GoPro mic was on also. So it was just picking up the ambient noise from the park, and every time I went back to the back of the bike, my voice got louder and doubled, and the delay was slightly off because that camera has a massive delay. So it was a mess. Once I figured out what was going on, I toggled the mic settings on the YoloBox and turned it on and off again, and then it worked fine. So mostly the moral of the story is I need to get better small headphones for monitoring with the YoloBox. I don't want to carry these every time I bring the YoloBox. That's ridiculous. So I need something smaller that is unfortunately going to be bigger than AirPods because what do they call it? EarPods, the wired ones. Because yeah, those are just not reliable. That's really what it came down to. No worries, the audio on the bike was fine for the circumstances. Yeah, and then once I got on the ride itself, after that intro, that was the correct audio coming only from the DJI Mic. And it did a really good job. I also forgot the windscreens because they were in the same bag that the cable's in. I forgot the windscreens, so I just had it on my shirt. And it did a really good job of suppressing the wind noise too. And I was impressed. So, oh yeah. Don't even get me started about the Hero 10 and the Media mod. I have a bug in relation to HDMI that I filed in November, and they still haven't fixed it. If you record while using HDMI, it'll drop your HDMI to 480. Oh, wow. I didn't even realize that one. I've never tried that because I never bother recording if I'm going to be using the HDMI out. That is really bad. I was having problems with the HDMI out, actually. I can't even remember. And like when you're in that kind of situation of like everything is, you're limited with what you've brought with you. You're 5 minutes before going live. You're trying to test everything and things don't work right. It's just very stressful. So I don't even remember exactly what was happening, but I do remember seeing the signal on the HDMI out not showing up in the YoloBox sometimes. I think it had to do with the sequence of which one was turned on first, which is kind of annoying. And yeah, that was a problem. And then the other major problem with the camera. In fact, I should just show you this. And okay, I need to switch audio if I'm going to do this. I should really just show you this. So let me switch over to the DJI Mic and the wireless camera, so I can actually go over to that rig. Hopefully this is in focus. And I think I matched these levels properly. So now we're on the DJI Mic. Okay, this is the YoloBox rig. This is not a good angle. This is really hard. This is the YoloBox. Front and back GoPros are on. The audio bug was, so I did uncheck AFV, which I've forgotten before. That was not, but I did undo that. So here's what it looked like. It looked like this, right? And you look at that and you're like, you see the audio levels bouncing and you're like, cool, that means it's all good. Well, no, it turns out 3 was on for some reason. As soon as I turned it off, on and off again, it worked fine. But okay, the other problem with the GoPro, let's see if I might need to like mount this camera somewhere because it's really hard to hold that. There we go. The problem with the GoPro, I'm going to turn it off. Okay, powering off, good. Let me actually make it, oh, it's gone, right. So disappears from the YoloBox because it's off, that's fine. I'm gonna turn it on, watch this. First of all, we're going to get, come on, there it goes. Get a splash screen. I'll make it big for you to see. So first we get a splash screen. And then it goes into playback mode. And in order to adjust it, you have to go swipe on the screen that you can't see until you adjust it into video mode. And now we've got all the little overlays, like the battery. And in order to get those off the screen, you have to swipe on the screen that you can't see because the screen is off. Just use it as an invisible mouse. and then press that button, and then the overlays go away, which is just incredibly frustrating. So, yeah, great. Fantastic. The other GoPro on the back does not work that way, and it's great. So the GoPro 7 works fine. And yeah, so okay, while I've got this camera up, why don't I show you around the studio? You can achieve automatic clean feed using the Labs firmware and a QR code. I'll have to figure that out. That sounds like a good plan. So let me turn on my overhead lights so that we can actually see in here. Let's see if this works. Sometimes they don't always turn on. There they go. Chasing down the wall. And now we can see around the studio. So the rack I have not moved because it is full of gear and it's not movable. It's not even on wheels. So I literally can't pick it up. Let's see, I would like to adjust this to be wider, a little bit brighter, and let's do that. There we go. Now we can see a little better. Everything's in focus better. So yeah, racks in the middle of the room, that's going to change. Oh, I did get this in. This came in on Saturday. The new X32, that's my plan for being able to pull out audio into from the 4ME once it finally gets here. I don't have it yet. So that's the giant mess, but here's the rest of the room. So I haven't changed any of that. Giant mess storage, but this side is looking better. So I've got, let's see, I've got the, I don't know if I'm going to keep the YOLO Max there. It might stay there. Box of the monitor. Here's my monitors. And here is the new desk. So I've got the overhead mic. Now you can actually see that. Overhead mic, overhead camera, back where they should be. What I did here was, when I was doing the setup in the live stream, I first had the light mounted on the C-stand, but instead I swapped it for the little 90-degree pole here. And that lets me put the mic and the camera in a better spot. So I like that. And now the light is off to the side like it was before, and I had to light the other side of my face, so I just mounted this one. That is the same light stand that I've always had, which is clipped to the monitor arm there. And then this lens is not wide enough to give you a proper shot, but that is the desk. And then over here, I now have the secondary desk, which is going to be mostly decorative, frankly. It's going to look good in the background of the shots. It's going to have the multi-views from the ATEM probably as well, put on the monitors. I might give myself a way to put, like throw up a still graphic as well, because that I think might look better in some situations. The plan for the rack is that it's going to go in that empty spot. That's already at the right width between it, so it's going to fill that space exactly. And then there won't be anything in this corner. I might move that plant somewhere better, but just where it is right now. So that's where the rack is going to go, and you will be able to see it, because if you look at the shot here, it's going to be right there. So you will see it, which is intentional for that angle. And then yeah, I'm going to figure out where that light goes, and the bike does not live there. It's just for today. That shelf, I think that shelf is going to be living there now. I think that's where it goes. It's a little bit weird that it blocks the light switch, but I think that's where it goes. I'm going to clean it up, of course, so it'll look better, but that's all the boxes are full of all the stuff that was on the shelf. So yeah, here's what it looks like from this side. We've got I've got a light on the YoloBox so you can see it, but that light does not live there, neither does that tripod. That's just for today, so you can see the bike. But the whole goal here is that, like, edit this rack out of the picture. My theory is that this will actually kind of look like a more normal room now, especially from like this angle, where it's like, it looks slightly more put together, slightly more like a actual usable room. So, and then the back cable mess, I will eventually clean it up, because I don't want to do anything right now because I have to move the rack, which means all the wires are going to have to move. So I haven't even bothered, but I'm going to clean up all the wires, wrap them around the C-stand nicely, and hopefully this will look, again, less like complete chaos. So that is the plan, and that is a little tour of the space. And then also it'd be nice to not have the rack in the middle of the room anymore, which made a little bit of sense when there was a desk next to it, but now it's just really weird having it in the middle of the room. So yeah, there you have it. That is a little walkthrough of my progress so far. So let's go back here and see what we've got in the chat. Audio. And back to that mic so I'm in sync. Cool. 480p did not exist in the 9. Ooh, that's even worse. I went from the 7 to the 10. I didn't have the 9. So, yeah. Oh, I also wanted to. I forgot. I have my security camera pulled up here so I can show you the room from the corner. It's not the best angle, but this will work. Yeah. So this is live. You can see me over here, and now you can see from the top of the room what it looks like. And yeah, it's gonna look a lot better once that rack is not just hanging out in the middle of the room, of course. So I am excited about that, but again, I don't want to touch any of that until I get the ATEM for me, because in order to move the rack, I have to take most things, or at least the battery, out of it because it's just really heavy. And once I have to disassemble any of it, also all the wires have to move, so it's just gonna be a huge project. I figured, like, I'm just gonna do that all at once. Now that I have an X32, am I gonna sell the XR18? Probably yes, probably. So I will post about it on the forums, as well as probably mention it in the stream once it's actually listed. So yeah, if you do want to get, you can actually go and like set up notifications on the forums. Let me drop a link to here. There are categories, and there's one of these which is the buy and sell. So I'll post stuff in there again, and that's going to end up on my little shop, to make things easy. Yeah. So this is one concern. Will the rack will I be able to reach it from behind, or will I turn it to face the desk? It's going to face out, so it'll be facing like this. I'll be looking at the panel, which means I won't have access to the back, but I will have access to that side, and then this side kind of from under the desk. So I think that's okay. We'll see. I have 45 GoPros all the way from the Hero 2 to the 10, so I pretty much know all the bugs and shortcomings. Okay, well maybe we should chat, because I'm gonna do a little video about my feelings about GoPros. So, what is the model of the new monitor? Is it good? It is a Dell. It's a Dell, and I can't remember the name of the models because they're really confusing. This one that came from B&H, thankfully, was working. The first one that I got from some Amazon seller, the HDMI port didn't work, which is kind of useless to me. I don't need that on anymore. But yeah, it's some sort of Dell 27. It is a 4K monitor, and UltraSharp 4K. I'm not using it in 4K mode right now. I may never. We will see. I think I may end up using it in 4K mode at some point if I once I rearrange things and plug my computer directly into it, if I can then downscale the 4K computer to 1080 for streaming. Not sure if I'm going to do that. I'm trying to find my little link thing. Here we go. This is the Dell UltraSharp 27-inch 4K. I'm posting this in the chat in a second. U2720Q. Those are the magic numbers. So that is the monitor. That is the one that is here. And then this one is my very cheap, it was like $180 or something, 27-inch 1080 monitor that does not support 30 frames per second, which means I have to put a scaler behind it, which I do not recommend. So that's the deal. Adding caster wheels to the rack would allow you to turn it slightly to get to the back. I don't think there's going to be enough room to physically turn it. I think because my plan is to put it in that gap, which is exactly the right size, and I would have to have more room in order to turn it. I think I might put wheels on it anyway, though, just because like I literally can't move the rack right now because it is too heavy. And with wheels, I could at least shift it 6 inches here and there. Currently, the X32 is around 1K, delivery time around 4 to 5 weeks. Oh my gosh. No, I found it in stock at, I believe I got it from, where did I get it from? I don't even remember where it was from. I found a place that had it in stock and it showed up like 2 days later. It was great. It was expensive though, yeah. What are the studio dimensions? It is, I believe, 9 by 19 or 10 by 20 feet. But I can actually share this because I have the program I used to design it. Or to, there we go. And yeah, this is Shaper 3D. So let's see, I think it's this one. Oh, darn, wrong. I keep meaning to do this. Let me just do this right now because I have, okay, this is also one of the things I'm looking forward to about getting the new 4ME in. Right now, when I have, right now I have the ATEM Mini Extreme, which is what's doing this stream. And if I show you the multi-view of that, you know, I've got 8 things plugged in. One I'm not really using. It's the HyperDeck animated background. I'm not using it for this stream. But what it means is that because there's 8, I have more than 8 things that I use throughout the course of doing various things. And one of the things is like, you know, I'll need a streaming bridge routed in or the RTMP receiver routed in or something. And I'll need to choose a slot for it and take something else out. And then eventually things just kind of get out of sync and like moved around. Like I used to have my main camera in slot 1 and now it just kind of lives in slot 3. And I've got the Apple TV plugged into slot 4, but it used to be routed into 8 for the most part. So when I've set up these macros, like this one, this is the SuperSource iPad button where it does this layout, but with the iPad input, I have to choose, you know, what goes into box 2. And right now it's set to ATEM 8, which is the wrong one, which is why I keep doing that. So I'm going to change this button to input 4 so that when I press it, it goes to the right source. But my theory is once I have the 4ME with the 40 inputs, I'm going to not need to reroute things pretty much ever at that point. So every device will live in one of the slots. And then I'm going to have 40 little windows to look at somehow. But you know, every camera is going to live in a particular slot. I need to still plan that out of what goes where due to the audio issues with it. But, you know, I will have like slot number 4 will just always be the Apple TV. That's the idea. And then all my macros will just always keep working. So this is the model of the studio. This is called Shaper 3D. And I'm just like navigating by just scrolling on the screen with my fingers, which is really nice. Still love this app. It's definitely not as pro as Fusion 360, but I just like it. I don't remember what the little cylinder was for. That was a placeholder for something. Maybe it was a placeholder for a tripod. I can't remember. Let's just get rid of that because I don't know what it's doing there. Oh, weird. Why is it? It's extruded out of the floor. Okay. Really no idea why that's there. So this is what I was modeling, rearranging things with. This is not where the shelf ended up. So maybe I should move that to, I don't think it's going to work over there. So I think I am going to keep it over here like that, right up against the door, and then swing it around 180. So that is how things are looking. And yeah, you can see that the rack is pretty much exactly there. Oh, sorry, Imperial System. Yes, I do measure things in feet. 3 by 6 meters ish. Yeah, approximately. I have the whole thing in inches. This is, maybe I can change the units. We can go to meters. There we go. So that is 3.5 meters, and then the long wall is 5.8 meters. It was supposed to be a coffee table for doing pack shots against a gray wall. Oh yeah, you're right. Actually, that's totally what it was. It was, I was looking at getting a little side table, just a little like round side table to put. I wanted it to be small so I can move it around because I don't think I want it to live there because it would be in the background of this shot. But if it was a small side table, I could just throw it there, do some product shots against the gray wall. That's what that was. You are completely correct. So yeah, that is how things look in here, pretty much. Oh, there's another shelf that I haven't drawn in because I added it recently. Oh, that's my green screen, floor green screen. I should move that back in. Yeah, fun. I think you need 1 or 2 50-inch monitors for the multi-view mounted directly on the wall and a bit higher, so you could also use the lower monitor on the desk. Maybe. Unfortunately, the stand that I have is 27-inch is the max size that you can use on that with the 2 arms, which is what I've got in front of me. So that is, these are 24, but I can only go 27. But maybe I should do 2 27s there and then only really use 2 multi-views. I don't know. Right now, I'm not actually planning on using the desk as a real desk. It's just for decoration right now. But maybe I can. We'll see. When you get your new switcher installed, what will you use for the encoder to live stream? Actually, the same thing I'm using right now. I'm not planning on changing that because I have a pretty involved routing situation going on here. Let me pull up my current diagram. More or less, this is more or less the current. So you can ignore the video hub, pretend that doesn't exist. That's not really relevant to the discussion. But the ATEM Mini Extreme is where what's doing all the switching and the layouts and the super source and all that. But I don't stream from it, which is why when I show you the multi-view, it says we're not recording, we're not streaming. Because instead, that goes out to the Television Studio HD, which lets me bring in 4 more sources without eating up inputs on the 8-input Extreme. 4 more sources, which are already SDI anyway, to do graphics and the videos and chat and stuff. That goes out to the web presenter. So if I show you what I'm actually looking at here, this is my view of things. So I've got my ATEM is showing it's off air, but up there I can see the web presenter is on air, and that's what I'm using to monitor. And I have this little monitor next to it, which used to be on the other table. I'm not sure if it's going to stay as the web presenter or not. It probably won't. But I'm looking in the teleprompter and I'm seeing the audio levels and I'm seeing on air, which means I know that things are working right. So that's the that's going to all stay the same. Basically, what's going to happen is I will be combining these 2 ATEMs into 1 ATEM because I'm essentially using a 2 ME right now because I've got 1 ME here and 1 ME here. They just have different capabilities, and I will have it all smashed together in one device. And I'm thinking I'm not going to need the video hub because there's so many outputs on the 4ME on the ATEM that it will be able to just run all my monitors directly, which will also be kind of nice. That app for diagramming is called H2R Gear. That is by John from Here to Record. So that is what I do all the diagrams in. It's very, very cool app. And I believe he has some updates to it coming tomorrow, which means he's doing a live stream about it tomorrow. So yeah, definitely check out his channel. Let me drop a link to his channel. Like the color scheme, Tom Buckley. I'm not trying to steal Tom's colors. No, I picked these colors a long time ago. I do like the color scheme though. Yes, just posted updates to H2R Gear today. Layout updates are tomorrow. Cool. John has been busy. What is the device next to the rack between the tables? Oh, that's an air conditioner. Here, I can show you what it actually looks like. It is my air conditioner, which is a floor unit, which I bought from Home Depot and last summer when it was like ridiculously hot. I haven't turned it on yet this season, but it's getting close. Hopefully I'm going to get an actual AC installed on the top, like in the corner off of the floor, so I don't eat up floor space with it. And then it'll be much more powerful too and more efficient because the floor units are the worst possible type of AC. Yeah. Okay. Am I keeping the video hub for now because I don't know how things are going to shake out once I get everything rerouted. Oh, the other part of this is I'm going to lose ISO recording by switching to the Constellation HD, which I'm really sad about. So I think what I'm going to do is take my ATEM Mini Extreme ISO, which normally is, I just haven't really been using it because it's only 4 inputs, and even at home I've got an Extreme now. But I'm going to take the ATEM Mini Extreme ISO and route 4 of the outputs from the Constellation into it. That way I will be able to record 4 things at a time. And I think I've decided on that instead of the Extreme because I don't actually need to record 8 things very often. I am mostly recording 2 cameras, maybe 3 cameras when I'm doing a video for YouTube, or if I'm doing something like a workshop where I'm doing, I want to record my camera, the computer screen, full screen, and a super source layout side by side. So I don't think I actually need to record more than 4 all the time. So that's my plan. Take 4 of the outputs of the ATEM, run it into the big ATEM, run it into the small ATEM Mini ISO, and use the ISO recording for that. So that is my theory. And if that works, I may not need the video hub anymore, but we'll see. Again, I think I want to be able to switch what's on those monitors to not always be multi-views from the big ATEM, which means I might use the video hub for that, of being able to route multi-views or other outputs from the ATEM or other things onto those 4 monitors. So we will see. Where did I get the X32 rack from? I don't know. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, it was from Adorama. Let me grab a link to that one. Let's see if they still have it. Or did I get the last one? That's possible. In which case, I'm sorry. Okay, I do have a link. If you want to buy it, please use my affiliate link, because this doesn't cost you anything, and it's an expensive item, which means I actually get a lot from it. So let me grab this link. And it does say it's in stock. X32 rack in stock at Adorama. Okay, there is the link. All right, let me take a look at any other studio questions before we move on. Yeah, well, I put wheels under the rack. I think I am going to, but again, I literally can't lift the rack right now to get wheels under it. So I have to do it when it's all disassembled, which is going to be a whole day, I'm sure. If you do have a question for me, please, again, do put a Q in the front so I can see it a little better. How am I streaming right now with the ATEM Mini or the YoloBox? Right now, this is the ATEM. Actually, it's a web presenter doing the streaming, so the show is mixed on the ATEM. I tend to use that in the studio. I don't usually use the YoloBox stuff in the studio, but I am not going to take even a small ATEM with me on the road, frankly, because when I'm traveling with this stuff, I don't like how much stuff I need to bring along with the ATEM Mini, like all the cables necessary and all the power supplies and stuff. So the YoloBox is much, much better for traveling. And also, like, I would not put an ATEM Mini on top of the bike, but I would put a YoloBox on the bike. How many backend people are involved in the production today? It's just me. I do these live streams just me. So I don't have backend people. I have HDMI rat's nest behind my desk. Can you recommend a thin HDMI cable that you use? Yeah, I have been getting, what are these? They are Cable Matters. They make the slim ones. So I've just been getting them off of Amazon because they seem to always have them. I don't know where else you can get them. But let me drop that link into the chat also. Slim HDMI cables. And they have a bunch of different lengths. So I have a bunch of 3 foot, 6 foot, and 10 foot. 1, 2, and 3 meters, I guess. So that is pretty much all of my HDMI cables in the studio are those, because I don't have any that are super long. 10 foot is my longest, and I barely have any of those. If I were going longer than that, I would probably not be going for a slim HDMI cable because that can introduce more interference and signal dropouts, in which case I might then go fiber. Yeah, Eddie is saying, I've been using fiber HDMI cables. Don't trust electrical HDMI. For short stuff, the copper cables seem fine, but yeah, anything longer than 10 feet, I would switch to something else. All my long runs in here are SDI anyway, which I'm going to have fewer long runs because everything's getting kind of consolidated. And it used to be that the cameras were really quite far from that rack in the middle of the room, and it's going to change to be the rack in the middle because I'll have cables running that way and this way. So everything will be pretty short, which is also nice. Do you send audio to the ATEM Mini or do you connect directly to the encoder? So right now, and let's see if this is on the diagram. I don't know if it is. The audio situation is, no, I don't have the audio diagrammed in here. So let's see if we have the XR18. Do we have it? Yes, we do. The way this works is the XR18 gets my microphone, and then it outputs, oh, I can't wire this up fast enough. But basically the XR18, I have the outputs going into mic 1 on the ATEM. So if you look at my, again, if you look at my multi-view of the ATEM, you'll see that the ATEM that's doing the video mixing has the audio in it. And that's on mic channel 1. That's the complete mix of all the external audio, or all the audio sources. So that's, right now it's really just one microphone because everything else is disassembled, but it would also be the computer gets routed into that if I'm playing music off of the computer. And then also I have the, what is it? I have the Ultra Studio. That's what it is. The Ultra Studio is routed into that as well. So that's what does the countdown music. It's coming out of the computer, going into this channel here. So if you look at the mix of, let's see, how does this work? Oh, now I don't know why it's not up right now. I think it's going out some other bus or something. So anyway, really, I don't use that mic right now. So I've got main microphone, computer, left and right channels, and the Ultra Studio are the three primary things in here. And then that's going to be completely different when I switch to the X32 because there's so many more channels in this. But what it's going to do is it's going to actually bring in audio from each input that's in the ATEM into here. Not each, the first 32. And 32 audio channels that are inside the ATEM are going to appear in the mixer thanks to magic, as far as I can tell. And yeah, that is a whole new world to me. So we're going to have some fun trying that out. I just got the little card that does that. It's a little insert card that you plug into the back of the mixer that gives it the coax, the MADI interface over coax that you plug into the big ATEM. So everything's ready for the ATEM to appear now. I've got the rack is ready to move. This stuff is in the right spot. I just need the ATEM to show up. Thanks to Magic. Yes. Thank you, John. How do you connect the mic one in the ATEM Mini RCA to 3.5 unbalanced? Yeah, it's actually, which one is it? It is, oh, it's actually coming out the quarter jack, like 1/4-inch jacks out of the mixer. No, it's not. That's going to my speakers. It is XLR. It's an XLR cable to 1/8 inch. That's what it is. Yeah. Oh, Keith, thank you for the super chat. Any Grant from Blackmagic NAB interview moments that have popped up in your memory banks? Oh, good question. Yeah, I'm still so bummed I couldn't record that. Yeah, what were we chatting about? I'm trying to think of something interesting. I don't know. I think I just was very impressed with how much he seems like he just really cares about this stuff, and just seems like he is excited about all the stuff they're making and wanting to just keep, pushing that forward, but also being realistic about it from like a business perspective, which I totally get, like with all the constraints. So yeah, no, it was a good conversation. I sent you the links for the labs firmware and settings on the PhotoJoseph Discord. HDMI setting is hard to find, so I specifically linked that. Thank you. I will take a look at that. That will save me a lot of headache, and at least I'll have something constructive to share in the video then. Is the X32 a good alternative for audio handling? I use Behringer X1204. I don't know what the X1204 is. The reason I got the X32 is pretty much exclusively because of the MADI integration, which is the thing that lets you take audio from inside of the ATEM and bring it into the mixer without going over analog cables. So I actually get all the channels from, not all, again, it's limited to 32, but you get 32 audio channels from the ATEM available in the mixer. So you can actually mix like if you have HyperDecks playing video back and stuff. Right now what I have to do is mix that in the ATEM basically. So and I've kind of split how it works right now because I've got microphone, computer, and the Ultra Studio going into the mixer. But if I have video on a HyperDeck, like if I'm playing back a clip, that goes directly into the ATEM right now, and I'm kind of stuck because I have to mix the audio in two places. So this is going to mean everything gets mixed in the audio mixer, which is a totally different way of thinking about it. But that's the specific reason I went with that. Could also go on the Dante path. The plugin card is around 500 for the X32. Thankfully, the plugin card for MADI was not 500. It was like 120 or something. But yeah, then I would have to figure out how to get the Dante audio out of the ATEM, which is that even a thing? I didn't think it was. Am I going to get some kind of cable management system under the desk? Possibly, yeah. We'll see. Right now, the desk isn't actually attached to any of the gear. So if you, I don't really have a good way to show it, but the desk is completely independent of all of the gear. So I can like tap on it and I'm not bumping, I'm not touching other things, right? So I don't have any cables to attach to the desk. It's all on the C stand. So I think that's going to work out. I'm going to collapse all the cables and run it on the C stand in a nice looking way, but there aren't any cables on the desk. So yeah, we'll see. MeteorX, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I don't see a question in here, but thanks. Eddie says, I've been having issues with my ATEM Mini losing audio. ATEM Mini Extreme got busted with no audio at all, and it got replaced by Blackmagic. That's annoying. Well, at least they replaced it. At least they fixed it. Okay, so quick change of topic, and then I'm going to talk about the PhotoJoseph stream because we talked about the bike stream already. But before we do that, I do want to mention that. See if I can pull this up on the screen. There we go. We are doing for the next. Now I have to double check how long this. I did not prepare my show notes. Yes, okay. Before I said it, I wanted to make sure I got that right. For the next month, we are doing a promo on all of the ATEM stands. So these things, ATEM and YoloBox, these things, the ATEM stand for the minis, the extremes, the YoloBox stand, the YoloBox cage, doing 20% off through the next month, through July 4th. So this is the best time to buy one of these if you have not yet. I can't promise we're going to do another sale. But this is a discount available right now. This is the Australian dollar price. I think if you don't see the sale up on the other stores yet, it's because it goes active on the 6th, and it's already the 6th in Australia. So starting tomorrow, you don't need a coupon code. It will just be a discounted price available for you. So that should be synced up across all the stores doing the 20% off discounted price. So yes, I'm excited about that. If you haven't yet bought one and you've been thinking about it, this is a great time. So this is, again, this is the one for the Mini. We've got the Extreme one, which I actually have sitting there with no Extreme in it because the Extreme is busy on my rack. And the YoloBox stand and cage, which is the one I use for the bike ride, which held up extremely well. I was very, very pleased about that. That was my second attempt at attaching that to the bike. The first one did not work so well. So this one, I'm going to actually do a proper video about this so I can actually show you, because I have to like get under it with a camera to show you how it's mounted. But there's essentially there's two aluminum bars on that, and I've got these little GoPro mounts actually attached to the handlebars, and then a GoPro to tripod screw adapter, two of them, one on each side basically of that stand, underneath attached to the aluminum, holding the aluminum bar, which is very, very strong. And the other attempt I tried was like I had one clamp on the top handlebar and one clamp on the stem, and kind of like holding it from 2 points, and that didn't work. It fell over pretty quick. But this one worked great, and the stand holds it very well. So yeah, discount on the stands available for the next month. And yeah, I'm excited to be able to do that. Oh, good question, Jason. Why do the new stand not have the rear feet? So that is because it doesn't really need it. So the first design that I don't have one within arm's reach. The first design needed the feet because when let's see, I think I still have the pictures up here. Yeah. So here's the first design. This one is, yeah, you can see it here. So it's straight. And because it's straight, if you have the center of gravity ends up being too far back if you put stuff at all leaning back off of it. So like when I have this monitor, it was fine. This is a light enough monitor. But if you have the YoloBox on top, or heavier monitors like the Blackmagic Video Assist, that's the word, or the YoloBox, then it starts getting too tippy. So you needed the feet for that, and that was because it was a straight line. So what we did with the new one is it's not straight, so it has the angle already built in, and that way it already kind of like has the rear feet, so you don't need to add rear feet. And that's if you actually try, I don't have enough stuff here to like hook onto it right now, but if you actually try, you'll notice that you can hang stuff off the back a lot more on that compared to the first design. So like this is from the photos I did, where this is the Blackmagic Video Assist, a 7-inch, which is actually pretty heavy, especially once you put batteries on the back, and it holds up just fine, and it doesn't need the extra rear feet because you've already got that angle. So that's the reason for it. Also, it means less things to buy, which is nice. So it just is all one piece already. The new bike mount is the bomb diggity. It's the same YoloBox cage, just attached to the handlebars. So I'm going to show a breakdown of that in the actual video I do about that. But yeah, it held up fantastic. Am I going to make a Stream Deck stand for the new stand? I don't think so, just because so okay, not going to do a side thing, but we are going to do a Stream Deck attachment for the top. So the this aluminum bar, part of the reason for using this was to be able to attach more things to it that we didn't necessarily plan for at first, and because it's got this slot, you can actually do some pretty cool things with mounting options. So we are going to do a Stream Deck stand for the top. It doesn't really make sense to use it on the tiny one because you probably want other things up here, but on the extreme, there's plenty of room. I don't have that bar. Oh, here it is. So here's the extreme one, and you can see how long it is. So you can have a monitor on this side and a Stream Deck over here, for example. So that is the plan for the Stream Deck. We're not going to do one off to the side, though. And that'll be very, very soon. Very soon. Now that the Rodecaster has tripod and VESA mount points, I think more and more people will look how to mount their ATEMs the same way. Interesting point. Very interesting point. Oh, okay, everybody keeps asking me about this one. Any plan to add an additional HyperDeck shuttle to attach it to the side of the stand? Get this back out. My theory is that that sounds good in theory and actually would be terrible. So you have to imagine the ATEM here. I don't have an extra extreme right now. Imagine the ATEMs in here. I like the angle, being able to both have faster access to the back buttons and everything just is more visible, and that's all great. The HyperDeck shuttle, which I don't again have here, but I have the box for it here. So we can imagine the HyperDeck shuttle. If you're actually going to be using this for any extended period of time, I actually really don't think you want your wrist up like this. When you're using an ATEM, you don't use it like a keyboard, right? Like, this is why you don't mount keyboards at an angle, because it's just like, it's awkward. So this is used more like a keyboard because you want, the knob access. And just try, hold your hand like this and just try, spinning a knob that would be like about there. Like, I actually think that's worse than having it flat. So my theory is that, and as cute as that would look, because it is the same depth as the extreme, it would look cute next to it. And, it is made, basically purpose made for the extreme, because it's HDMI only. It would look great. I just don't think it's a good idea. And I think people would end up hating it. If I'm wrong, we can definitely do it, but I have a feeling people would just hate it and then would not use the stand anymore and get frustrated. That is my theory. Okay, let me scroll back through here really quick, and then we're going to talk about the PhotoJoseph stream and any other questions I can get to. Yes, okay, so why was there such a delay in the Joseph stream? So this was really unfortunate. So what we're talking about, first of all, is on Friday, PhotoJoseph and I did a live stream on both our channels. So you hopefully saw it on one of our two channels. Did a live stream where we were trying the feature of bringing one YoloBox stream into another YoloBox. And the way that works is, oh, he put timestamps. Look how clever he is. Well, sort of. Got partway through anyway. The way this works is you can see my stream pop as coming into the YoloBox, and there's his camera. If they're signed into the same account, then I think here's where he actually goes and adds it. If you're signed into the same account, yeah, you go in here, you press add a new live stream. If the other one is streaming already, then it shows up here. So that's from my YoloBox in a different city, and now I show up there, which is super cool. The demo worked, like it worked great. The YoloBoxes did a fantastic job. The problem was when we were between the actual YoloBox demo, we were just chatting, right? And like I introduced myself here. The way that we ran that stream was not using the YoloBox. The way we ran that stream was I was streaming from my web presenter to his streaming bridge, and he was receiving the stream there into his ATEM, and then mix the show like you normally would, cutting between his camera and my remote feed. And we were on a Zoom call, which I think I showed at one point. Yeah, here's my overhead camera showing my YoloBox doing the stream, but then this was our Zoom call, and he was looking at my nose the whole time. But that was just so we had a way to talk to each other. None of that was being routed into the show. I was sending from my web presenter to his streaming bridge. The problem with the audio was that I do my show in 1080. Oh yeah. Yeah, so I do my show in 1080, and he does his in 4K. So we have a problem there. We need to make it match. And let's see, I have a photo. Where did I put it? I had a screenshot from him showing the problem. Oh, where did it go? I had it right. I had it here a second ago. Okay, so while I try to find this, the reason that it must be an email. So I'm streaming to the web presenter, right? So to his streaming bridge. His streaming bridge is then getting a 1080 feet, which the ATEM can't scale. So how is he going to scale the? Now I don't know where the screenshot went. I lost it. How is he going to scale it up, right? Getting 1080 feet, needs to get to 4K to go into his ATEM. The way he did it was routed my stream into Mimo Live, and then Mimo Live out. And that was what he was using for a scaler. Mimo Live has a setting where you can add audio delay, which is cool. That's great. That's a good feature to have. Apparently, the way that it happened was... what happened was there's like it remembers the last delay you used, and if you add a new audio channel, it'll just apply it. So there was an extra half second of delay being added intentionally by Mimo Live. And that's why I was out of sync. So after all of that, we were like, you know, where's the audio? Where's the delay being introduced? Like, why is only the audio delay, but the video's not? No, it was just a setting in Mimo Live. So, oh well. Now we will, now we know to double check. Also, it's like not really visible as a setting until you dig into a menu somewhere. So that's what I was going to show you on the stream, and I lost the screenshot somehow. Don't know where it went. Oh well. So that's the reason it was out of sync. I'm sorry. Next time we will plan ahead better. Probably not, actually. Okay, cool. Bunch of good questions coming in. Let's go through these really quick. I'm late but watching the replay. Thank you. Cool. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining. Glad you can be here now. Am I getting new ATEM Constellation HD? Yes, I'm getting the 4ME. And do scroll back because I did talk about my plans for that a little bit here. Oh, interesting thoughts about the HyperDeck shuttle. I think it'd be better to tilt the HyperDeck shuttle HD up since the scroll wheel actually blocks the buttons usually. Interesting. That's a fair point. You do have to reach over the buttons or reach over the scroll wheel to get to the buttons. That's an interesting point. Okay, I could be convinced that it makes sense. Oh, and Randy has a good idea too. Make the attachment flat, not at the same angle. Well, I guess what's the point of putting it in a stand? Maybe just so it doesn't slide around. Okay. I'm getting more interested. Do I think Elgato will make a larger stream deck like the extreme size? I think that would be very useful for the new constellations. I mean, they already have one that's basically the extreme size. The this one, the XL, is pretty big. It is, here you can kind of see it next to the ATEM Mini. It's taller than the ATEM Mini a little bit, and it's slightly shorter than the extreme. I kind of doubt they're going to make one even bigger than this, but this I think is a really good size for the extreme. I agree with here to record. Tilt the shuttle HD up a bit would be easier to reach the buttons. Okay. Well, if there is enough interest in the little side attachment for the shuttle, we can definitely do it. It would not. It's not a huge stretch of the imagination to do it. So yeah. Curious to see if there's a Facebook group if they are posting how they're using the ATEM stands with the different attachments. I'm not going to make a Facebook group for it, but I would be curious to see if people are posting into Blackmagic Facebook groups, for example. I agree. There might be something new in the Stream Deck, probably under a new name, as some European resellers are discounting the XL. Interesting. They did just make the 15-button Mark II, but it's not really an upgrade. It's just reconfiguring how the case works. Interesting. I wonder what will be coming, because I feel like these are pretty good the way they are. Are you going to live stream while you're building your 4ME system? Probably at least part of it. I will probably do it on Instagram with the big YOLO Max giant TV on Instagram Live. Knowing that those are limited to 1 hour, so I'll have to restart a new stream every hour. But either that or I guess I could just use the regular YoloBox too. One of the problems, of course, is I won't be able to use most of the gear for that live stream since I'll be tearing it all apart. But I'll stream definitely part of it anyway. Are there any delay issues in the Lumix GH5? The GH5 is actually one of the best. It is virtually no delay coming out the HDMI port. The G7s that I'm using, which are these two cameras right now, they have a noticeable delay coming out the HDMI port, so you have to delay the audio to match. The GH5 is, I think it's like 1 frame or something. It's ridiculous. Really, really good. Really good. Please no Instagram, live on YouTube. Maybe I'll do one of each. I get a ton of latency on the GH5 HDMI out. Really? I wonder if there's some sort of setting that's causing it. Because I know with the GoPros, if you have hyper smooth stabilization turned on, then there's like 1 second or almost 2 seconds of latency, which is really annoying. If you turn that off, it goes way down. It's still not great, but it goes way down. I wonder if it's the same kind of thing on the Lumix of like if you're using the stabilization. Because I like when I'm recording 80 milliseconds. Okay, that's not a ton. It's just some. What is that in frames? If you're at 30 frames a second, 1,000 over 30 is 33 milliseconds per frame. So that would be about 3 frames of latency. I would not call 3 frames a ton of latency, first of all, but I was seeing less than that on mine. I don't know why. Enough to be a problem for focus pulling. Oh gosh, well that's a whole thing. I don't know anything about focus pulling. All my cameras are manual focused. Oh, Elgato did have their 10th anniversary where everything was discounted. Are those discounts a holdover from that, or is that just the XL that's on sale? Good question. I forgot about that. I kind of wish I needed more Stream Decks. YoloBox and stream to IG, not the YoloBox. It's a different device. It's the giant TV that I have over there. This camera's almost dead, but I can show it really quick. It's that thing. It's the YoloBox Pro. I showed it off at NAB, and I also did a live stream with it. There we go. It has 2 HDMI inputs and a USB cam input as well, and that runs the Instagram app. So that's why it can stream, because it is running the real Instagram app. All right. Oh, I just realized that for the EU store, we actually do have a coupon code. And I'm going to drop that in the chat. There we go. So, okay, that's in the chat. Code is summer 2022. I misspoke earlier when I said, oh my gosh, my little clipboard thingy is stuck. I misspoke earlier when I said it was automatic on the EU store. The Australia store has it applied automatically, but on this one, you need to drop in the coupon code. Cool. So that is the deal. I will put that in the description of this video if you're watching the replay. Why do you prefer not to stream via the ATEM? Because I'm using 2 ATEMs. So most of the show is mixed in the ATEM Mini Extreme. So I've got my my overhead, my 2 cameras, the side camera, wireless over here. Most of the show is mixed here, but later things are added on top, because if I wanted to put in the graphics like this, notice that it's not anywhere in the ATEM because I'm out of inputs. I would have to use up 4 inputs to do the graphics. So I've got the HyperDeck player as well as the H2R graphics. I would need to use 4 of the inputs, leaving me only 4 left in here. So instead, I send the output of this ATEM into the other ATEM. And that's not an ATEM Mini Extreme or a Pro. So there is no streaming encoder in it. So that's why I stream out the web presenter. And when I switch to the 4ME, these 2 things are basically going to get combined, and I will not have an option of streaming from it anyway, but that's fine because it'll still slot right into the rest of this gear. That's the reason. The more I think of it, I was getting 160 latency, but that was a combination of 80 from the GH5 plus 80 from the Hollyland Mars. Okay, that makes more sense. And that would be, I could see that would be frustrating. Yeah, and if I'm just looking at this, the feed from this, I can see the noticeable latency. Like I can even show you, because I can show you both cameras at the same time. And you can see that's noticeable, definitely noticeable. And that is mostly from the, I think mostly from the transmitter. Slight angle on the shuttle would be good, but not as much as the ATEM. My shuttle at a slight angle due to Ethernet and cable. HDMIs are short, holding the back up. Interesting. Okay. Let's do, I would love to get feedback on what the right angle would be for that. So if you do have a shuttle and you are using it regularly, try like shimming it with books or something on the back and see what angle you like the best. And then comment below what you want, what you would be the ideal angle for using it at. Why is the USB-C out on the ATEM Mini so much darker than HDMI out? It's not darker, it's more contrasty. And that's because of a decision they made to do that, essentially, of using the different ranges of video signals. I wish it wasn't, but it's more contrasty. So in a shot like this, it looks about the same. You'll notice that like you'll see less stuff in the shadows there, but my face is pretty much right in the middle of the brightness. So it doesn't actually look that different. If you're underexposed, then things will kind of shift darker. If you're overexposed, things will shift brighter, but it's more contrasty. So yeah, that is just unfortunately the way it is. And at this point, they haven't changed it. I doubt they can, because a lot of people have complained about it. Regarding a bicycle live stream, you mentioned the GoPro 10 isn't good. Was the 7 good enough considering the built-in HDMI? The back camera was the 7 that I had, and that's the last time they had built-in HDMI. It boots up directly, and the HDMI out is the main video, which is great. I think it's perfectly fine. Again, the stabilization adds a significant delay, so if you are using stabilization, you have to be okay with the 1 second delay that it adds. I don't even know if it's around a second. I'll measure it eventually. I was just frustrated by so many things about the 10, including having to buy the media mod case, that I just don't recommend the 10 for it. I am going to try this beta firmware though, or whatever it's called, to try to get it to actually turn on in clean HDMI out mode. So that'll help. What is the wireless transmitter on the handheld camera? This one is the Hollyland Mars 400S Pro. They sent me that one a while ago to use in here and show off. This one, I like, what I like about it is that it has a cold shoe mount built in, and it's the only one of theirs that does. The other ones don't have the cold shoe built in. So like this is the 300. This is actually the old version of the 300. But you have to put a cold shoe adapter. They also have one that goes on the side here, which I don't know where it went. I think I took it off when I was building a 3D printed version of that for the rig I was using at NAB. But you have to add a cold shoe in order to use it with the camera, which is kind of frustrating. So like, I don't like that it sticks up so tall. I don't like having to attach the thing on the side to put it sideways. So I really like how this one just has the cold shoe in there, and I don't have to worry about forgetting to bring it. Focus, there we go. So it's just built into it. And then these antennas do come off too. So like the other ones. Many IRL streamers have been sticking with the Hero 7 because the media mod in the 8, 9, and 10 introduced bulk and issues. Yeah, it also makes it huge. Okay, that's enough about this. I'm going to do a video about this so I can just get all my thoughts out quickly. Apart from the general low light issues, the Hero 7 is still a very valid choice and was the first to have the new hypersmooth stabilization. Hero 5 was first to have any stabilization. Yeah. Matching the shuttle HD angle with the extreme would make the appearance more pleasing to look at. I agree. But ultimately it's about, is it usable? Because if it looks good but people hate using it, that's bad. What is a fan icon on the transmitter for? I think that means the fan is on. That's a good question. I never really thought about what it's for. There is a fan in this. It's very quiet, but there is a fan in the transmitter. I never really thought about why the icon is moving. That is an interesting question. The fan is on, where is it blowing? I think it's coming out the side here. I think that's, yeah, I can hear it if I put up close to my ear. It's not very loud. It's really not that loud. What quality do I archive my events in? File type, codec, and bitrate? Ooh, good question. I decided a long time ago to save myself the trouble with doing these live streams and not do any additional work with them. So these live streams, I do not record them locally. They go straight to YouTube. YouTube is the only copy of it. I then pull it down from YouTube separately in the best quality that I can from YouTube, which I should be pretty much the same as what you're seeing. And I do have an archive of all of those on my NAS. For the videos I do that I edit, I render those out at as MP4 files that I upload to YouTube, and they're I don't actually know the bit rate that I use, but it's just like the recommended settings for publishing to YouTube, for uploading to YouTube. And that is, so I export that out of Resolve, and that is what I archive. So it's not a huge file. It's not the best quality, but it is what I upload to YouTube, and that's what I keep. So far, I have been keeping all of the raw footage also. I shove that off to the NAS, and it takes a long time to do that because those are slow drives. But I do keep all that footage, and I'm thinking about cleaning it up soon because most of the time I just don't care about it. Like, I don't need the high quality version of my talking head video with all the retakes of all the lines that I didn't use in the video. Like, I don't need that. So I think I'm going to start deleting that, like go back to 2018, 2019 videos and delete all the raw stuff and keep only the published version just to free up disk space. And then the one exception to that will be if I do B-roll shots of products that I do a lot of videos about. So ATEM Mini, YoloBox, my stands, all that stuff where I'm doing, you know, the shots of like panning across them or whatever it is, like poking buttons that I, you know, drop in here and there when I need a shot. I am thinking about switching how I organize that footage and actually being organizing that not just by the video that I'm publishing, but like having a folder of here's all my ATEM essentially stock footage. Here's all my YoloBox stock footage, right? Because then when I do want to make another video and I already have a clip of showing pushing the fade to black button, right? I can just go and pull it from that instead of having to reshoot it. So I think that'll help speed up the process of making new videos as well. Yeah, I know John was recording all of the shows locally to upload later because he uploads the second half separately. But did you stop archiving those? I would be curious. I just knew it was going to be too much work for me to have to worry about grabbing a disc and oh, I got something in my throat. Excuse me. Thanks for the question. It's a good question. Oh, it is Jules' birthday. Happy birthday. And thanks. Yeah, I agree. I think that this is looking good in here as well. So far, I'm happy with the progress, and this is getting there. We're getting there. And yeah, happy birthday. Oh, also, good question. What's happening with my video of the videos that you all sent to me. I'm gonna get that out this month. That's my goal. I actually was just working on yesterday, working on what I'm gonna say in that video and how I'm gonna edit that. So that is happening this month. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, at the beginning of the year, which I can't believe it's already been 6 months, at the beginning of the year, right when I crossed 25K, I asked for all of you to be a part of a video that I'm making to celebrate hitting 25K, which I think would be a fun way to do it. The way that works is like, I want to just show who watches this channel. I want to show what you all do. So I want to share your channels. I want to share your websites, whatever. If you're in this professionally, link your professional website, and come on to this video and tell me about what you do. Tell me about what you've learned. Tell me about like how how you've been enjoying these live streams from this whole time. So if you have not yet sent in a video, it is not too late. Please do still. The way to do that is I have, if you are, let's see, I have a little Instagram story where I describe it. You don't have to actually watch it if you don't want to. I'm gonna go grab the link out of it. That's where I'm getting the link from. It is linked from there, and it is a Google form. This also has instructions. So this is, now the clock is ticking. So if you're thinking about doing this, this is the week to do it, because I am going to start putting this together. So the idea is, here's the instructions. Record yourself. It does not have to be perfect take. I will edit it down. I will probably be chopping it into pieces and intersplicing everybody's. It's not going to be just playing everybody's videos in a row. Answer these 3 questions. Introduce yourself. Tell me what your YouTube channel is about or what you do for work, for your business. Like, do you do live streaming? Do you do virtual events? Whatever it is. And share one tip or technique you learned from the channel. And then there's a spot to upload, to link to a Google Drive or Dropbox or whatever you want to get me the recording. It does not have to be in any particular format. I will edit it down to whatever it needs to be. So whatever you can manage is totally fine. And that, I am going to finish that this month. So that is the plan. And more happy birthday wishes to Jules. Cool. Question. I use the Hollyland Pro 300 Pro Enhanced. What is that one? Oh, that's the new version of the little 300 that I have. For one camera, and the sound comes from the mixer. Yeah, okay. I have 2 other cameras connected, and there's no video delay. How can I resolve the issues? I mean, there isn't really a way to change the video delay. The video from the Hollyland will always be delayed compared to the video coming in directly from the wires, and you won't be able to change the video delays without adding, I don't even know what kind of things. You can probably do it in OBS or something, but I wouldn't go that route. What I always say is use the cameras in a way where the video delay doesn't matter. So super wide shot of the room from a wireless, you're not really going to notice the delay if people's lips that are 2 pixels tall are out of sync. So that is, that's my recommendation. As far as getting the audio to match, you definitely can match the audio delay to the wireless one if you wanted to use that for like the main camera, but it's not a good idea to switch the audio delay mid cut because you'll hear little pops. All right, looks like we are at the 90-minute mark, which is turning into how long this show is. So any last minute things I can get to before we go? We'll look through for some easy ones here. And Darren, I don't have any recommendations for HDMI over Cat 6 right now. The The last time I bought one was 2015. I'm sure things have changed since then. Yep. But also I've heard very good things about fiber, so I might look into fiber anyway. Oh, and Zach says, did you know that the Roku now supports AirPlay? That's fascinating. That's super cool. I did not know that. I don't have any Roku devices, but I do have a Roku TV upstairs, so I will turn it on and let it update. That is really cool. That's useful. I still haven't actually bought a fiber myself because I haven't really needed to run long HDMI because I haven't been doing live events for a couple of reasons, some of which are pretty obvious. So unfortunately, I don't have any recommendations, but I'm sure somebody else will chime in the chat or in the comments. Last question. What is my favorite new 2022 gear? Ooh, what have I got this year? You know, it actually might be the DJI Mic. I think that might be it. This is, I have been taking this with me, and with the exception of forgetting the audio cable for it because it does not fit in the box, I've been extremely happy with it. It did very good sound noise rejection on the bike ride. It's been totally reliable. I like that it's got the little phone adapters if I did want to plug it into a phone. This might be it. Might be it. All right. We're going to wrap that up. So thank you all for the super chats. Thank you for tuning in every week. And, oh, I do see the music is on again this time. Good. Yeah, this has been fun. I will be back same time next week here in the studio. Things might look different, might not. I don't know. We'll find out. And the otherwise, yeah, we will see you again sometime. Again, don't forget about the 20% off sale on the PK1 stands across all the stores. And thank you for supporting the channel. And thank you for taking time on this Sunday to hang out. I will see you all again later. Bye.